does that even mean, Bowers game corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, and today I'm very excited to check out Sardines from Jekko. This is for ages 5+. It's for 2 to 4 players. It has 50 cards, and it's going to be 15 minutes. It's weird that it has 50 cards. But this is a game from Jekko, which is now owned by Asmodee, and they're just all about kids' games and children's games. And this is one of their ones called Sardines. And in this game, it's a very simple game. It's a memory game where you're going to try to look at a picture of a bunch of fish and then figure out which fish in front of you match the fish that are out there and push them forward. Very light, very simple. Let's show you how it plays, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the game. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Sardines. So, first and foremost, we have cards, and more cards. That's what this is. But we have our handy-dandy rule booklet right here. It is one card, and you're going to get like 20 of these for 20 different languages, which is awesome that kids all around the world can play this. But still, the rules could be better. It's not terrible, but it's more complicated to figure out the rules than it should be for how simple this game is. And it's just some of the words they use and different verbiage. But overall, you will be able to figure it out, and it's a well-done rule card once you understand it. But it will be slightly frustrating. So in Sardines, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the most sardines. How you're going to do that is by looking at these large cards in the middle. And everyone, we'll just run you through a whole game of this right here. What's going to happen is, or a whole round, you'll flip over this card right here, and everyone is going to have 5 of these cards face down in front of them. You do not see these cards yet. So I have 5 here, this player has 5 over here, this player would have 5 cards in front of them, face down. We're going to flip over this middle card right here, and we're going to study all the different fish on there. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fish, and the fish are dressed in different ways. Now, you really want to study this, and you really want to study this hard. Then once everybody study it for, maybe 10, 15 seconds, you flip it over, and then everyone is going to flip over their cards and try to remember if they they have one of the fish from down here on this card. And if they do, they're going to push that fish forward. So I have a terrible memory, and I wasn't paying attention because I'm talking. So we'll go these 2 right here. And then this person, they've looked at theirs, and they're like, oh, no, I think it's these 2 right here. And then what's going to happen once everybody's pushed their forward, you're going to flip over the card, and you're going to see whether or not you were correct. So this person was correct 2 times. They had this one, and they had this one, which means, boom, these go into the person's score pile. And you just set a pile next to them, kind of off to the side, make sure you know it's the score pile. Now, I, on the other hand, got 1 right, but then I got the other 1 incorrect, which is a bummer. Because what happens is, if you get it correct, you get to put in your score pile. If you get it incorrect, then you lose 2 cards out of your score pile. It's a very strict penalty. They want to encourage that you don't just go all willy-nilly on this game. Any cards that are taken away in this manner, like these cards, are actually out of the game. And the rules say they're put set aside. I wish they would have put back in the box or something like that. But anywho, and this card, I believe, goes down to the bottom. It doesn't actually clearly say where it's supposed to go, because you could potentially, I do believe, go through all the cards and then get back to this card if everyone was playing really badly or slowly or something. So now what's going to happen is all these cards get flipped back over, like so, and that everyone is going to get new cards that they will not see to replace the old cards, just like such. Then you're going to, once again, flip it over, study it, flip it down, rinse, wash, repeat. You're going to do that until eventually you run out of these cards right here. Once you run out of these cards, oh, I bet one, boo-hoo. Once you run out of these cards, then you are just going to go until someone runs completely out of cards. Once someone has run completely out of cards, you will tally up the number of sardines everybody has, and whoever's the most is the winner of the game. I don't think there's a tiebreaker. I doubt there is, but let's check. Nope, I didn't figure they would, because this rule booklet isn't the best. But if there's a tie, shared victory. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to do inside of Sardines. Alrighty then, Sardines from Jekko. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody. Obviously, this is for children, and I would say younger children. I'd say 4 to... You could even go 3, as long as they maybe house rule a little bit. I haven't played it yet with my son, but I definitely plan on it. My youngest son, my 3-year-old. I would say 3 to about 10, 11, 12. I think that's probably where they're going to be like, okay, this is a little bit beneath me. I'd rather play some more complicated stuff, especially if you're in the hobby game market, which you probably are if you're looking at this. So you do need to know it's going to have a limited scope. I wouldn't put this as, you know, a get-together game or a gateway game or anything like that. Also, on the con side, it's very light, it's very simple, and the rules could have been better. It's not like they're bad, but they're kind of frustrating when you're first starting the game. And I'll be honest with you, I've put off this game twice now just because I took this rule card into work hoping I could just figure it out mentally in my brain and then just immediately play it, and I couldn't. It's not, you know what, I don't want to say it's that bad, but it could be better. It definitely could be better. Any other cons I have for the game? I personally am not the hugest fan of this game. I think it's good. But I think the kids in my class really liked the game, and they liked the ease of it, they liked the simplicity of it. So moving on to the pros, I do want to say that I think this is a good children's and family game, and I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but I did get bored of it really fast. Now, that may just be me because I have a really bad memory, but the game is very repetitive, which I didn't mention the cons, which I definitely should have mentioned. Like, you're going to do the same thing just over and over and over and over again. So it's literally just stare at a bunch of fish, and then flip over your fish and stare at your fish, and then be like, oh man, which one matches? And then push it forward and do that 8 times. That's the whole game. So it is repetitive in that nature, which is another reason why I think I didn't like it as much as the kids did. But the bread and butter of this game is, I think, if you have kids that play games by themselves. So maybe you have a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, or a 7-year-old, and an 11-year-old, or something in that area. This is the kind of game where you can start it off as a family game, but as long as they can take care of the game and take good care of it, this is a game that they can absolutely play by themselves. So this is a pure children's game in addition to being a family game, and I think that's where this game really shines. And I could almost go as high to say an 8 for this game if I was looking at it purely at a children's game perspective. So if you're in that market, then yes, I can definitely make a stronger recommendation for this game because it's easy enough that the kids are going to remember how to play without having to go to the rules or without having to ask you questions ever, which is great. But other than that, unless you're looking at this purely as a children's game where your kids will play it by themselves without you, I think this is a good game, but not a great game. But that is Sardines from Jekko. Either way, it's a solid game for kids, and I was planning on probably getting rid of this game, but seeing how popular it was in my classroom, I'm actually going to keep it in my classroom and let the kids play it. So Sardines went over so well with kids in my class that it saved it from leaving the collection. But there you go. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel in a variety of different ways, like making me have better audio, better video, better lighting, that sort of thing, please consider donating to my Patreon, and we're actually going to start giving a game away every month in addition on that Patreon. So be sure to check that out and have a chance to win some free games. I don't think I can actually say that. I don't think you're supposed to run raffles on Patreon. So everything I just said was a lie, but wink.